Franklin D. Roosevelt, who was the president in World War II, along with Truman, who was his successor, they were Freemasons. World War II was a war between Freemasons and the rest of the world, really Freemasons and the Nazis. Now you have to understand who were the good guys, who were the bad guys. I don't think the Nazis were the bad guys, because these motherfuckers were the Freemasons, leading our world for their own evil schemes. You see, their propaganda painted the mustache man as a terrorist, a narcissist, right? A totalitarian, a dictator. And the whole time we are living through this shit in America. The whole time you have to understand that this motherfucker was actually fighting for us, was actually trying to stop the Freemasons from running the world. You see, the mustache man blamed the Freemasons after the defeat in World War I for promoting pacifism, which he said paralyzed the nation's instincts for national self-preservation. The secret nature and ceremonial aspects of Freemasons were seen as a form of competition for the Nazi Party because their loyalty was to their fraternity and not their nation. And so right before World War II, Freemasonry was being banned in Germany. The mustache man was putting his foot down on Freemasons and stopping the bullshit, right? Stopping the homo agenda, stopping the PDF files, and stopping their weird fraternity hazing that Freemasons do. You see, down below me, Freemasons, right, were being severely punished. They faced arrest and imprisonments in these concentration camps. Did you know that Freemasons, that they had camps for Freemasons? You see, they lied. I'm today years old just figuring this shit out. Estimated 80,000 or more Freemasons were unalived by the Nazis. This was a war between the Nazis and the Freemasons. This makes sense how they were Jews in the German army. You see, now that I have an understanding, it makes a lot of fucking sense. One of the main reasons that the mustache man opposed Freemasonry is because their core principles, liberty, equality, and universal brotherhood, was a direct opposite of Nazi ideology. You see, the mustache man was the only one bold enough to stand up to the tyranny of the European Americans. He was the only one standing in their way, and they had to take him out. And the moment that they took him out, they created all of this propaganda to make him seem like the bad guy, to justify what they did, to justify killing millions of indigenous people. You see, they built statues for their white men that killed millions of indigenous men, yet they labeled the mustache man, right, basically a demon through propaganda, because he was allegedly unaliving Jews. But in reality, he was targeting Freemasons. After European Americans won World War II, right, you got to understand the influence of how these Freemasons work. Because if you realize that Martin Luther King was associated with Freemasons and his dad was a Freemason, now it starts to understand that the government recruited them after World War II to push the agenda so that way they can integrate clones in our world, because now the mustache man was out of the picture to be able to stop the agenda from happening. If he was still alive today, he would talk about these clones. He would talk about PDFs, files of leaders. He would talk about the rainbow agenda that they're passing on, he would have shined a light on everything that they're doing today that's being exposed now. We would have already been through this age of enlightenment if we would have, or excuse me, if the Nazis would have won World War II. You see, propaganda had us believing that the villains were the good guys and the good guys were the villains.